Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Harlingen City Commission. The time is, if we can all have a seat, please. The time is now 5:33 p.m. We're calling this meeting to order. It has been duly posted as required by state law, and we have a quorum of the commission as all are present. If you all will please join me by standing while Commissioner Mike Mesmer leads us in our invocation.
Dear God, please have mercy on the sick, the suffering, those in jails and prisons, those traveling by land, sea, or air, those held prisoner or captive. Please have mercy on this city as we do our best to follow you in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Now the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mark, if you read the conflict of interest, please.
Under state law, a conflict of interest exists if a commission member or certain members of that person's family has a qualifying financial interest in an agenda item. Members with a conflict of interest cannot participate in the discussion nor vote on the agenda item. Are there any known conflicts of interest to disclose at this time?
None. None.
None.
None.
None.
I had one on 10J with HSD.
Oh, and if I may, before we approve it on item 7C on the consent agenda, we just need to make a pen correction to the amount on, with the city match. You should say 14,348, but it says 14,34.00. So if we can just pen change that, Amanda.
All right. Any other, no other conflicts, commissioners? Wonderful. Moving on. Amanda?
Item number 3, announcements with respect to items not listed elsewhere on this agenda. The City Commission may report on items of community interest, including announcing community events, announcing employee or community recognition. A, mayor's announcement. Do you have any announcements, ma'am?
I do. I first just want to obviously welcome all the new faces to our meeting. We are glad that you're here, and for those that are with us on every meeting, welcome back. And I also want to take an opportunity, those of you know that we have recently opened our Harlingen Animal Shelter, and I'd like to invite staff to come and present our Pet of the Week.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. We have today Angela, who is our adoption coordinator, and we also have Mr. Chuck Norris, who is about a year old, and he's been with us for about 2 weeks already. He's an amazing little dog, super friendly, good with adults, good with children, and he is looking for his forever home. So if anybody here or anywhere is looking to adopt a pet, Chuck Norris is waiting for them.
Fantastic. And it's my understanding that Chuck Norris made his debut on TV?
He did on Channel 5 last Thursday.
Awesome.
And he has been to the library for an off-site adoption event. He was a big hit at the library. Lots of people look at him and love to pet him. Again, the kids are very attracted to him. He's a great all-around dog.
Well, thank you so much. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have Chuck Norris, and he is available for adoption at the Harlingen Animal Shelter. You can find all the contact information on the city website and on the city Facebook page. Is that correct?
Yes, and the animal shelter is open 7 days a week, open to the public from 1 to 6 p.m. So come by, see him, or hit all of his other friends that are at the shelter with him.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to briefly announce that the It's Time Texas Challenge has finished. I want to thank all of the city commission for participating and getting all the folks in your community, in your districts to come out and participate. I heard pickleball went amazing, as did the walk, and everyone else that participated. We greatly appreciate it. We don't have the results, the official results, but Harlingen was in the lead by over 1.5 million points. So a huge shout out to our Harlingen city staff for all of their hard work, especially Oscar Garcia and Javier Mendez from Parks, and all of the support staff also that helped in this endeavor. We appreciate you so much, and I can't wait to bring home that award to our community. That's all I have. Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome, Mayor. The next one, city manager announcements.
Mayor, the only thing I have to report on is that the new routes have begun and everything is going smoothly. So thanks to Public Works, Oscar and Chris, for getting that done efficiently and off to a great start. That's all I had.
Fantastic.
Item C, city commission member announcements.
The only thing I have is I'd like to thank everyone that took advantage of their most precious right as an American citizen to get out and vote. Thank you.
We have a mural unveiling tomorrow downtown, right across the street from Jackson Cork and Craft. It's going to be the newest addition to our rock and roll mural. If you've ever had the opportunity, you should go check it out. There's like references to Jimmy Hendrix, excuse me, Rage Against the Machine, Nirvana, Elvis. So if you have the opportunity, you should definitely go check it out. I'm super excited to see this new one come to life.
That's at 5 o'clock, right?
5:30 tomorrow.
5:30. Thank you.
I do have one. I want to give a quick shout out to the Harlingen Collegiate High's robotic teams. Both of them are headed a little bit later on this month to the FTC state competition. And on behalf of the city, we wish them all the best of luck, and we look forward to recognizing them later on this month. And other than that, I know the ITT challenge counts are not official, but for the second year in a row, I just want to mention that I did meet the mayor.
I knew that was coming.
And for a second year in a row, I let him, so. Moving on, Amanda.
Item number 4, presentation of awards. A, Harlingen High School South Hawks Boys Tennis Team.
We can have them all come inside. I know it's a small room, but they can stand right here in the middle. You're welcome to stand right here in the center. I know it's a small room, but we do have some space to squeeze everybody in. Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Good evening, Mayor and City Commission, as well as City Management, staff, and importantly, our guests and parents who join us here today. Today, we are celebrating and recognizing excellence, determination, and sportsmanship. We are incredibly honored to have with us the stars of the Harlingen High School South, the boys and girls tennis teams. Let's give them a warm round of applause for our Hawks. So both teams have shown exceptional skill and perseverance throughout this season. Tennis is a game of endurance, focus and skill, and strategic thinking and athleticism. Our champs here with us today have demonstrated these qualities and more, and they have proven so by clinching the district championship, sweeping through by district and even dominating area as the area champions, and made their mark as regional quarterfinalists. Their journey is a testament to their work, teamwork, and pursuit of excellence here in Harlingen. And there's no one better to share the story of resilience, strategy, and triumph than, of course, their coach, Coach Escamilla. I'd like to invite him up to share a few words.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tonight and for recognizing the team. Just to tell you a little bit about the team, we are led by our captains Ethan Carter, Jaylyn Sanchez, and Diego Garcia. And these individuals are some of the best people and some of the best students that I have had the pleasure of being around. These are driven, just really great character individuals, and they lead a very high-performance team. Our team is resilient, our team is focused, we have high standards, and this is something that we live day by day. Practices is very focused, and it's because of individuals like the ones that I get the privilege of leading. But just their heart's one of the biggest things. We have a great relationship with our student athletes. Our parents are a big support, and that's what it's about. I come in to partner with parents to see their kids succeed through tennis, and it's such a privilege and an honor to lead them. And yeah, they've been doing very good. We're super proud of them, and we started our individual tennis season, and we're hoping for great results. So thank you for tonight.
Thank you so much. We are all incredibly proud of each and every one of you. We're so excited. There's so much coming out from the South High School lately. We're just super proud of all our athletes. Thank you for joining us. Do you have a proclamation to read?
We have the awards, if we can have everyone come up.
Okay, wonderful. If the commission can join me so we can take a picture.
No, you're fine, sir. You're fine.
Your list.
There we go.
I think commissioners would read the award itself.
The City of Harlingen would like to congratulate and proudly present this award to the Harlingen South Hawks boys tennis team for 2023-2024. Players include Diego Garcia, Alfonso Maldonado, Vicente Rodriguez, Ethan Carter, Diego Garcia, Leonardo Cantu, Gabriel Gutierrez, Enrique Moreno, Jordan Phipps, Roy Aguirre, Christopher Sanchez, Valdemar Garza, Jose Saldoval, Ryan Hughes, Jack Robinson, Aaron Symes, Benjamin De La Gasa. 32-5A district champs, Bird Bowl champions, UIL by-district champions, UIL area champions, and UIL regional quarterfinalists. Texas High School Coaches Association 2023 Team Tennis Super Elite Team, head coach Ernesto Escamilla Jr. for an exceptional season, outstanding accomplishments in recognition of their excellent athletic performance and sportsmanship, presented on this day, the 6th day of March 2024 by the mayor and the city commission. So congratulations, guys. Okay, just to point out how excellent that these guys are, the other day, I think it was earlier this week, right? I was walking down the hall with Alfonso, and I was talking to him, and I was telling him, hey, you guys are gonna be coming on Wednesday to come get recognized, because you guys got district and all that. And we were walking down, he just looks at me like, so that's every year. And, it's true. It's true, because we have recognized them every year, because these guys have done an exceptional job every single year, and we're extremely proud of them. But again, it's because of the coaches. And one thing I do want to recognize is Coach Noe right here, he did get, was it the Assistant Coach of the Year? Regional Coach of the Year, so I want to recognize that. So these kids are not able to do what they do without the coaches that they have, Coach Escamilla.
Okay, ready? Perfect. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, and 3. Got it. And if y'all could stay right there, there's some others taking photos as well. Yep. Yes.
behalf of the City of Harlingen, we'd like to congratulate and proudly present this award to the Harlingen Southhawks girls tennis team, 23-24. Teams include teammates Gabriela Sines, Emily Britton, Jalen Sanchez, Christina Munguia, Madison Gossett, Ali Ledesma, Cameron Descendants, Landry Mitchell, Camila Sines, Michaela Bella, Taylor Coleman, Tiffany Gilbert, Miranda Gilbert, Marisa Herrera, Valerie Peña, Leanna Garcia. 32-5A district champs, virtual champions, UIL 5 district champions, UIL area champions, and UIL regional quarterfinalists. Head coach Ernesto Escamilla for an exceptional season and outstanding accomplishments in recognition of their excellent athletic performance and sportsmanship presented on the 6th day of March 2024 by the mayor and the city commission. Congratulations, please.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, and 3. Got it.
Ethan and Dale, can y'all come up here real quick? I didn't want to go. I didn't want to end the night without recognizing Diego and Ethan. Diego and Ethan were two of our elite athletes that were recognized in the state of Texas. It was about 15 student athletes that got recognized for this award, and we had two of them at Harlingen South. This is for their doubles performance during the team tennis season. Both of them are also state qualifiers, and we're en route hopefully to repeat that this year again. Ethan's a senior, Dale was a junior, and they're two of our hardest working student athletes, also I think number 9 in this class. So very bright students as well. So very proud of them, and I wanted to recognize them and put up you all as well. So Dale and Ethan.
He's a super smart kid. He was one of the students last year, Ethan. Super smart.
Next item, number 5, citizens communication. At this time, the public is invited to address the city commission and speak on any matter not specifically listed for public hearing elsewhere in this agenda. Please note that the city commission members may not respond to comments or deliberate on topics addressed. Tonight, Mayor, we have 3 that signed up, 2 for citizens communication and 1 for public hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and call the ones for the citizen that signed up under citizens communication.
Correct.
And the first one is, let me see, who's gonna say that? Raymond Reyes.
Raymond Reyes, 706 Nantucket Drive. Basically, like always, I just am more concerned on how well the city's doing. We've come a long way from the direction we were going. I think we're turning things around, but as anything, there's some hiccups on the road to progress. So as long as we meet those challenges head on, not try to hide things, not try to deflect things. Be basically adults and responsible for the things we get ourselves into. Everything always comes about and stuff. I myself have been around way too long. In some instances, probably longer than some people would like. But the good Lord allows me another day, so I just keep doing what I do. Me personally, I'd like to see a lot more positive focus on bringing more events to Harlingen. I feel that being here for so long, since '76, remember the Jubilee, and we brought Rio Fest back, and all these other great things that the city was doing at the time, where we're very much ahead of Mercedes and Westlaco, which are the great towns in the valley as well. But I think Harlingen can catch up and pass some of these things. I personally, with the things that I'm trying to do, we had a very good turnout for the Sonic Hedge thing, free, just to see the kids' faces dressed up like the characters and meeting the actual voices and taking the photos and everything. To me, made it all worth it. It was a logistical nightmare, but it was a lot of fun. You know, my grandkids loved it, and that's basically what I did it for. There's some other things that I have in the works that I think will make a big difference, a big impact for our side of the district, the downtown district. But the district as a whole is moving in the right direction. I think if we continue working together, we can make positive things happen. The thing that I, stress a lot is oversight. We all live busy lives. Thank God I'm retired, so I'm even busier now apparently. And I know everybody has jobs and other things that they do. But again, as elected officials and appointed to certain positions, we need to make sure we oversee everything as much as possible. Do the best we can with what we got. And I think we'll be okay and stuff. That's basically my summary. There's other things, but again, I usually address those out as emails to those involved and stuff so they can be addressed.
3 minutes are up.
Yeah, and so I didn't beat the buzzer this time, but I'll be all right. So you all have a good evening. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you guys, I guess, in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes.
The next one is Ron Lozano.
As I get to the podium, I think Ms. Elizondo, the city secretary, will bear me out that I told her that I had also a hearing that I wanted to, isn't that correct?
Yes, you did, but it's up to the mayor if she's,
Well, I'm just asking you if you heard that, and I think I had a
Yes,
witness. May I start now then?
yes, because the clock is already ticking.
Trump believes his electoral success entitles him to shoot persons on Fifth Avenue with impunity due to immunity. Doesn't that seem to apply to us all? When we first start a new gig, we do so with some dignified trepidation. After a while, like now, for some of you, you know it all, perhaps. So by last August, a Charter Review Board committee was established for the purpose of whether adjustments had to be made to Harlingen's constitution. Alas, now you, the enlightened ones, imply forcefully that we mere citizens of Harlingen, we have no clue how it should be run, since y'all are not so transparent. So you're probably correct. We don't have a clue how to set up a constitution. The Rio Grande Humane Society's integrity has been impugned. Now, just like predicted, within a month of the opening, they just touted a $40,000 plus salary for the animal shelter. That was predicted. There's another item on tonight's agenda, a budget. Doesn't tell the amount, so there's going to be a budget amendment. And if Planning and Zoning Commission and Board, there is such a thing, and they met last Wednesday before your last meeting last week, same place, only a caption will be read to avoid false commentary on item 10B. And I'll save the balance for the hearing. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, item number 6.
Is that it for the citizen
That's
communication?
it, Mayor. The next one is under public hearings. Item number 6 is the approval of minutes, regular meeting of January the 10th, 2024.
If we can make an amendment to page 2, line 16 and 17. In that line, it says motion was read by Commissioner Lopez and Mayor Pro Tem Pettis to approve the regular meeting of December 6, 2023. If we can just add in there, subject to the change cited by Commissioner Lopez, which is in the paragraph right above.
Okay, sir. No problem.
That's it. Now I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, subject to the changes I just cited right now.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 7, consent agenda. No discussion is anticipated on any of the items in this section because they are routine business, were included in the budget adoption process, or have been previously discussed as a staff report or discussion item. These items will be considered collectively by a single vote unless a commission member requests an item to be removed from the consent agenda.
We did have item J removed by Commissioner Bettis, and we had a correction on item C by Commissioner Kinsley. With those exceptions, is there a motion to approve?
Make the motion to approve, subject to the amendment.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, so then, item number 10J, let me see. Consideration and possible action to approve the installation of speed humps in the following location. This item was requested by Commissioner Daniel Lopez and Commissioner Frank Morales. Is that the one that you excluded yourself from?
No.
Oh, which one was it, sir?
It was there was another one for HISD.
I wrote down J.
Oh, I was gonna pull J anyways. If we
Okay,
just
sir.
add 9th Street between Harrison and Jefferson.
Okay, 9th Street.
Commissioner,
I'm looking.
Okay, so the next one was,
1 second.
I don't see, no, keep going. It's not on the consent.
Okay, so
Make a motion to approve item 7J, subject to the addition of 9th Street between Harrison and Jefferson. Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
okay, we move on with item number 8, staff reports and other discussion items. Items in this section are not expected to require action by the city commission and are generally for information only. However, any item listed in this section may become an action item with the request of the mayor or after the request of 2 commissioner members or the city manager. A, city manager's reports. Do you have any reports, sir?
Mayor, members of the commission, we didn't put any reports on today because we're going to have presumably a lengthy discussion with Waterworks and their rates, so we have no reports today.
On this one, do we have an update on when Keep Harlingen Beautiful is gonna meet? I know they were supposed to have a meeting.
No, we're going to try to get a location at one of our buildings, and so Amanda's going to coordinate that with the board.
When can we schedule or hope to have that meeting?
Amanda, do you know when the board?
I know that I did send him an email letting him know about setting another meeting, but he hasn't given me a date yet, but I will follow up tomorrow, sir.
Okay, can we make sure that it's not on a date that we set any other meetings on?
Right.
Perfect.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
And then, of course, 8B, staff report, none, okay? Item number 9, public hearings. At this time, the mayor will invite members of the public who have filled out the public hearing and the citizens' communication form to address each item listed in this section. Please limit your comments to the topic of that public hearing. If more than one public hearing is being held, you will be allowed to speak during each topic, provided you have filled out the public hearing and citizen communication form for the appropriate topic. If you are signed up for 2 or more public hearings, you will be limited to 5 minutes for all topics. And we do have one, Mayor. It's on item number 9B, and this is Frank Lozano.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay.
So on 9A, this public hearing, there's no one signed up?
No, ma'am, only on 9B.
Okay, so we'll open that public hearing and close that public hearing?
Yes, mhm.
And now you have B, and also, Mr. Ron Lozano signed up. Is he signed up for this one?
No, only Frank. Frank Lozano.
Okay, well,
I didn't see Mr.
we'll get with you after Mr. Lozano. We'll make sure that you're able to speak, just in 1 second. All right, so if you want to read B, Amanda?
Yes, let me go ahead and do that. It'll be consideration and possible action to adopt an ordinance on first reading.
No, it's a public hearing.
Public hearing.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Okay, B, public hearing amending the City of Harlingen Code of Ordinances, Chapter 111, Article 13, Section 111-62, use chart establishing the boundaries of the major commercial corridors, and prohibiting the car wash use in the said major corridors due to safety.
Thank you for your patience.
Good afternoon, Commission and Mayor and my fellow citizens. I'm here to speak on Section 9B on the proposed ordinance restricting car washes on major commercial corridors, ostensibly for safety reasons. This presents a solution in search of a problem. This ban will harm residents by limiting car wash choices and price competition, will harm businesses by limiting their growth, and ultimately will harm the city itself by creating an unfriendly business atmosphere through its precedent. First, the safety argument against car washes on commercial corridors lacks evidence. Accidents caused by car washes are statistically rare. Attributing congestion to car washes ignores the potential contribution of poorly planned traffic patterns. The proper solution to address safety concerns is the use of dedicated turning lanes, clear signage, and proper landscaping. Ultimately, traffic congestion is a result of high-volume traffic at peak hours with insufficient infrastructure to meet the demand. Furthermore, a ban on car washes creates a parade of negative consequences. For residents, the convenience of a quick car wash on their way home from work could become a chore, requiring them to travel farther away from designated commercial corridors, potentially adding to overall traffic congestion, which you seek to eliminate. This can be particularly detrimental for busy families and working class of our city. Economically, this ban will hurt both established businesses and potential entrepreneurs. New businesses should be welcome to our city, not face unnecessary barriers to entry. This ban will limit competition and potentially drive up prices for consumers. Additionally, new businesses bring in new jobs. Other complementary services which create symbiotic economic ecosystems that benefit everyone. Finally, a well-maintained car reflects positively on the city's image. Dirty cars not only detract from the visual appeal of our city, but also contribute to more pollution. Regular car washes prevent the accumulation of grime, oil, and road dust, which will eventually wash off into storm drains and our waterways. Instead of an outright ban, the City Commission should work harder on infrastructure improvements, traffic congestion mitigation. You should not be picking winners and losers and allowing already established car washes in the city while preventing new growth. Don't just choose to protect those who have donated or haven't donated to your campaign. Ultimately, a city thrives when it caters to the needs of its residents and fosters a diverse range of businesses. The proposed ordinance to restrict car washes in the commercial corridors is a flawed solution to a non-existent problem. Let's build a better Harlingen that works for small business owners instead of trying to wash them away. Frank Lozano supports small businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lozano, go ahead.
I did use the term false a moment ago. It doesn't have a number, it just says ordinance number 24. But Javier, Mr. Cervantes is here about his planning department. But Planning and Zoning Commission met and voted unanimously against this proposal. These are people that y'all appoint. If you don't like your appointees, you should get rid of them before they vote against this proposal. So this document, that's what I meant about it being false. They did not recommend approval. Not a single member. So you guys, you just do what you want, like I said a while ago, and that's not the way an American city should be run. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else signed up for this?
No, Mayor, that's it.
If I may say something.
Yes, sir.
Just before the meeting, I got the planning and zoning minutes, and I had to chuckle. I'm sure I'm the only one in the room that reads zerohedge.com. But on Monday, they had an article about car washes springing up literally all over the country, and that some cities have actively banned new car washes totally. And the comments, because it's a snarky site, but there's valid stuff on it, and the comments are hilarious. I just say let freedom ring. And Gabe, of course, I didn't copy it and send it to anybody. I don't know, can you send it to people?
Commissioner, I think Orlando Campos, our EDC director, sent a similar article from Bloomberg that talked about that same issue. And I know it was sent to me, but I'll check to see if the rest of the commission received it. If they did not, I'll forward it to everyone.
Yeah, so I would vote on tabling this for right now.
This is just a public hearing.
Oh, okay, sorry,
Okay.
jumping the gun.
You're jumping the gun, yes. And so at this time, we will close the public hearing on item B. And is there anyone signed up for item C?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Do I still read it? Do you still want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's a public hearing for a special use permit, SUP, to allow a bar lounge in a general retail GR district located at 401 West Harrison Avenue, bearing the legal description of Lot 89, Block 84, Harlingen Original Town Site Subdivision, applicant Janie Zamora.
Wonderful. And so this public hearing has been open to the public, and having no one signed up to speak in behalf of this item, we will now close the public hearing and move on to item 10.
Yes, ma'am. Action item, City Commission will discuss, consider, and take any action deemed necessary on items listed in this section, including the adoption of a minute order or a resolution or an ordinance. 10A, consideration and possible action to adopt an ordinance on first reading for the voluntary annexation of 18.788 acres tract of land out of Block 33, David and Stevenson subdivision located along the east side of Crossett Road, approximately 3,260 feet north of Loop 499. Applicant River Creek Management LLC. Planning and zoning.
Mayor, City Commission, good evening. We have an annexation request. We don't get this very often, so we embrace them. This is for a residential subdivision that is proposed on the east side of Crossett Road, about 3/4 of a mile north of Loop 499.
Hey, Javier, real quick. I'm ready to vote on it. It was pretty straightforward. Javier, you did a fantastic job presenting it.
Sounds great.
Mark, you want to hit the caption and let's go?
I have a question. Is this part of this annexation? Okay, you're just looking at an annexation. Is any of this part of this for the construction? Is it going to be part of the part of Combs as well?
Yes,
No, it
This-
abuts the city limits of Combs, but it's not going to include any part of Combs.
Nothing.
No, we can't annex into Combs.
Okay, let me see if I can rephrase this question. Once they construct, is half of it going to be in Combs and the other half in Harlingen?
so this is the master plan for the subdivision here. The area in blue is the area within our ETJ that they're proposing for annexation. The north half of the subdivision will be in the city of Combs, so half the city will be in Harlingen and half in Combs.
But
the subdivision.
we're only voting on the Harlingen part.
Correct,
Combs, we have nothing to do with.
correct.
And they, excuse me, they will have their own utilities. In other words, water, sewer, all of that's going to be the Combs.
The utilities is Harlingen Waterworks. It's our service area for water and sewer.
Okay, this is pretty close to the airport, correct? Do planes fly over it pretty? No?
This is the location right here, and the airport is kind of over
Way
here.
over there.
All right, any other questions?
No.
All right. Is there, can you read the caption, please?
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance extending the corporate limits of the city of Harlingen by annexing for full purpose an 18.788 acre tract of land out of Block 33 David and Stevenson subdivision located on the east side of Crossett Road, approximately 3,260 feet north of Loop 499, binding the land to all of the acts, ordinances, resolution, and regulations of the city, approving an annexation services agreement, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Quick question. Are they going to be in my district or are they going to be in?
Is,
That was just my one question.
Not sure. I think it's.
Well, we'll have great commissioners either way, so. Motion approved.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, I was just wondering. We're going to have a great commissioner.
Come on,
with
guys.
four to ride.
Oh, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
opposed?
Motion carries.
Item 10B.
Yes, please.
Consideration and possible action to adopt an ordinance on first reading amending the City of Harlingen Code of Ordinances, Chapter 111, Article 13, Section 111-62, use chart establishing the boundaries of the major commercial corridors, that's a hard word for me, and prohibiting the car wash use in the said major corridors due to safety.
Yeah, I'll make a motion pending further information that Gabe will send us to table this.
Okay, but let's go ahead and let Javier
I just sent you the article from Bloomberg.
put on
You
his.
send it to us all?
Yes.
Is that enough time for us to read it?
We
no,
don't
I
need a
don't-
vote. We can take the motion to table, but let's go ahead and let Javier present, so that way we don't have to come back and do this again. And then if there's any discussion, if not, we can do the move to table.
Yes, so the proposal is to prohibit new car washes on certain major corridors based on safety. The major corridors that are proposed in the ordinance is Interstate 2, which is Expressway 3, Interstate 69E, which is Expressway 77, Ed Carey, Loop 499, Tyler, and Harrison. So they will be allowed in other minor commercial corridors like Business 77 or Business 83 and others. So this is the proposed language that will be added to the ordinance where, a new car wash will be prohibited. Existing car washes or car washes under construction will be grandfathered along these corridors. There is an exception that if it's a car wash that is a component of a convenience store, that will be the exception that it will be allowed. And the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend denial unanimously to this ordinance.
And this article you sent us, it's the identical article from Zero Hedge.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay.
They picked it up.
I had a quick question. How many car washes do we have in Harlingen? Because I'm trying to think for myself. I know we have the one that's by Sam's, then we have the Blue Wave, and then they're building the other one that's going to be right across from Chili's. Then we have the other one that's going to be, then they're building another one from the sign that I saw that's right across from H-E-B. So that's 4. And then from my understanding, Blue Wave is going to open where the Great China Restaurant used to be.
For the Crazy Buffet?
Yeah, that's 5. And then we have the other one that's on Ed Carey, which is 6. And then if I'm correct, there's going to be another one built right next to the Arby's as well. I see a sign there. So that's
Yes.
7. So my thing on this is we already have 7 car washes.
We
And
have
these-
more than that. I
We
mean,
have
Oh, yeah,
We have on
exactly.
Sunshine Strip, we have on the corner down by Harrison and the Loop. I mean, we easily have a dozen.
Yeah, and my thing is that they're taking up space that I think that we need to diversify, like the things that we have in our city, especially in the main quarters, because as of right now, I mean, if you read what's going on online and everything, people are starting to call us the car wash capital of the valley. And that's one thing I do not want to be known as, Harlingen. I don't want to be known for car washes. When people drive in, you want them to see all these nice businesses and for them to come in here and want to invest or just come and live here, and all they're going to be seeing is car wash, car wash, car wash, car wash. And then what if this boom that's happening, because I did read a little bit of that article from Bloomberg, and then they're saying that, eventually this boom might, cease to exist, might stop, and then eventually we're going to have all these car washes that are going to be abandoned right then and there, and that's going to be a eyesore for a lot of people, especially on the main quarters, on Harrison, on Tyler, on Ed Carey. And I don't think we're not banning them. All we're doing is just saying, you know what, you want to come in, just go to one of the roads that's not going to be the main thing that people are going to see when they're coming into our town, our city. That's my attitude for this. I'm in favor of this. I think we have, enough car washes. And for the competition aspect, I mean, you have 12 car washes. I mean, I think there's enough competition right there.
Too bad we approve every bar. We approve every bar SUP that comes before us, but now we're arguing against car washes. Improper priorities.
So I'm a little, and I think I've shared my opinion on this before. I'm a little conflicted in terms of whether, as a governing body, we should be restricting businesses. So I do tend to agree with Mike, but on the other side of the coin, I also agree with Commissioner Bettis. And that's because I get so many phone calls and messages and emails from concerned citizens not wanting to have any more car washes in the community. And we are, I think, very active online, and that's communicated to me. I think on our social media post that I put out, I talked about this specific topic, and it got lots of traction, lots of commentary. And so there's that fine line, right? Where do you find that balance where we want to protect our community and continue to grow and have diverse type of businesses, and at the same time, I'm a big fan of supply and demand, right? And so if they want to open up car washes. There's a lot of misinformation. Car washes are not the devil. They do provide jobs. They do provide a service. And as a community, if we were not utilizing these businesses as much as we do, then they wouldn't be continuing to open in our community. And so there's those concerns too. I'm not sure which way the commission is going to go. If we're going to go in favor of it, I think looking at also commerce in District 2, if you're going to protect all these commercial corridors, that might be one to add if this is an ordinance that we're going to pass as a commission, just to protect all that investment that we're going to do in that side of town. I'd want that to be included if that is what we're going to do. And so again, it is difficult, but at the same time, there's been lots of communities that I have seen take this position. I know recently, I want to say it was Alamo, maybe, that they did the same thing. They said, you know what, we don't want any more car washes coming in a specific corridor. I think it was off the expressway, because they want to be able to continue to grow and grow in a way that is very specific and intentional. And so by ordinance, they did adopt it, and it got a lot of support from their community. So I think this is really, you have to take into consideration what the community wants, and also if there's a safety issue. I put a lot of stock in what Chief Kester and our Harlingen Police Department has to say, so I think this is something that we really need to consider and think about how we want to govern, and also balance the needs of the community and the wants of the community. So those are my thoughts.
If I would suggest, if you guys do want to table this, I know most of you, I know Ford, I know Daniel, and I know myself. And well, what I would encourage everyone, especially you, Mike, is to go online, listen to people, ask the constituents what they want, because you'll be surprised that most people don't want new car washes. That's the one. Anytime there's the EDC posts something about a new business that's possibly coming in, or we post something that's about to come in, you'll see all the comments. Don't tell me it's another car wash. Well, what we need is another car wash. Okay, another car wash. You'll see that over and over and over and again. These are the people that we represent. This is what they're telling us that they want. So I would encourage you guys to go out there, talk to people, look online, because in my opinion, looking online, that's a good pulse on what the people want. But I mean, I would encourage you to do that. If you want to table it, that's fine, but give the people what they want.
Well, we have a motion to table already been presented, right? And I'd like to second that, because I'd like to read whatever this document is that's been sent out to us.
It just says that they're popping up all over the country. Some cities are blocking them. Some city got sued in Tennessee, that it's a cash cow. It's the equivalent of Starbucks.
Right.
That's this.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, that's all it says, right?
And there's a bunch of them that say the same. Exactly.
But the same complaints I get about car washes I've seen is the same complaints we get about coffee shops, right? We're getting too many coffee shops. There's the one on the east side over there by Luby's. We're getting a bunch of them as well, right? And so the way I see it is, much like the article says, is like, if people are paying to use it, that's because that's what they want, right? You wouldn't go and put a business in a place that you know is going to lose money, and I don't know if the commission wants to start picking and choosing which industries we want to start narrowing in, because when I came in, I do not like personally dollar stores, Dollar Trees, Dollar Generals, and if
Cars in the parking lot.
but there's always cars in the parking lot. Right, and I remember I had a crisis of conscience when the most recent one came up on Rangerville that's coming up. That was, maybe 9 months ago or something like that? And man, I struggled on that, but do I want to be, and does this commission want to be the one that starts dictating things like that? And the only time I've ever voted against a business was literally because it was going to be too close to a park, and I felt that the type of business that they're opening was maybe, I had concerns about the proximity to a park. But otherwise, whether I agree with the business coming to town or not, I think it should not be our MO to start rejecting them.
So then let's go ahead and vote on whether or not to table, and if it's overturned, then we'll vote on whether or not to approve.
At the same time, I want to say, I agree with you, but at the same time, I don't think we're necessarily rejecting them because they're still going to be allowed to come into Harlingen. It's just not the main corridors. Again, I don't want to be known as the city of car washes. That's just how I feel. And I know you say the supply and demand, and I know in that article, I believe it says a lot of these equity firms are just coming in and they're open, they're investing in here. That's their way of just basically sitting on land. They go in, they invested, they get this car wash. It's minimal investment for them. It's low overhead. They hire, in some places, they'll hire like about 5 employees. So I don't see that much of an economic benefit when it comes to jobs with these car washes, when perhaps in that place, you could have maybe a restaurant. And I know that's something, if you ask any Harlingen resident, would you want a car wash or would you want a restaurant? 9 out of 10 are going to say restaurant. And of course, you're right, we can't dictate what businesses come in, and I don't think we really are, because all we're just saying is like, you want to come in, by all means, come in, invest that you into a car wash, if that's what you want, God bless you. But just not do it in one of the main corridors, because we want to present to our visitors, to the people that are coming to sit to Harlingen, we want to present something else than just car washes.
To which I reply, let economic freedom reign. Individuals who want to open one and corporations who open one put their money where their mouth is, and they're making an economic decision. And it's not our duty to quash their economic decision for a clean business.
No pun intended. So, the only thing I'll add is, and again, I mean, I think I agree in terms of not controlling and letting economics reign, as Mike says. But there was a safety component, and I know Chief Kester's not here today for valid reasons. Maybe we should table and see what he has to say in terms of the safety aspect of it.
I think it was already addressed, in my mind, it was already addressed in the minutes when they talk about, it's interesting that we're bringing it up on car washes, but we've never brought it up on Target, or we never brought it up on Starbucks, we've never brought it up on that new coffee shop, the Dutch Brothers, right? Like every time I drive by the Starbucks on my way to work, on the one on Ed Carey, there's always a line, right? And it's like, you always gotta be careful, so.
But it also, in the minutes, did mention also how the runoff from the water can also damage the asphalt on the streets. And I know we're not responsible for the actual street, I know it's a state road, but do we really want to encourage more potholes on the street?
That's a TxDOT issue for them to resolve.
But it's also a resident of City of Harlingen.
Vote, and if we don't table it, then we can move on and
Yeah.
either approve or disapprove.
I vote to approve. Oh, well, we've already have the motion, but.
Well, I think,
Motion and a second to table, yeah.
I think the motion was made during the public hearing.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table this until we could read this article.
And I seconded it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries. I didn't hear, is it
I
just you?
opposed.
I oppose the tabling, he opposed the tabling. I'd rather just vote no now and move on.
Okay, well, you guys lost,
Yeah.
so motion carries. Motion carries. I just want to know what we're doing. All right.
Okay. Next item is 10C, consideration and possible action to adopt an ordinance on first reading for a special use permit, SUP, to allow a bar lounge in a general retail GR district located at 401 West Harrison Avenue, bearing a legal description of Lot 8-9, Block 84, Harlingen Original Town Site Subdivision, applicant Janie Zamora, Planning and Zoning.
Hey, Javier, as I recall, this is just a paperwork, it's a paperwork issue, not even name change essentially.
Right.
Yeah, it's a different operator, but it's the same bar.
Same restrictions.
Correct.
Same restrictions, the name will change to Magues Bar, no more El Cisne.
It'll be what?
Magues Bar, Magues Bar.
MEGUES.
Correct.
Oh, this is your district, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you read the caption?
An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Harlingen, a special use permit SUP issued to Janie Zamora to allow a bar lounge in a general retail GR district located at 407 West Harrison Avenue, bearing a legal description of lots 8 and 9, Block 84, Harlingen Original Town Site Subdivision, providing for publication and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number, let me see, where am I? Okay.
10D.
10D, consideration and possible action to approve the preliminary construction plans and final plat with conditions of the proposed Central Perk subdivision located along the west side of Perk Lane, approximately 1,842 feet south of Garrett Road, bearing a legal description of 2.89 acres of land, 3.00 acres deed out of Block 6, Dowtree, Paylett Subdivision, out of Survey 293, applicant Moreland Surveying LLC, in care of Ramiro and Silvia Resendez.
Yes, Mayor, City Commission, this subdivision is coming before you for two reasons. They're proposing to widen the ditch to comply with the drainage, and is the first one to pay the park fees from our new ordinance. This is a subdivision in the ETJ.
Okay.
4 lots. That's a location, and they're going to be paying $1,800, and it's going to
Could you back up one slide, please? Okay.
So they will be paying $1,800, and it's going to Park Zone 1, which is the southwest zone.
All right, is there any discussion? Motion?
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10E, consideration and possible action to approve the preliminary construction plans and final plat and a variance request with regards to the minimum lot depth for lots 12, 38, 48, 49, and 74, and the minimum lot width for lot 48, 49, and 74 for the purpose Trinity Heights Phase 2 subdivision located at the northeast corner of State Lake and Brenneman Roads, bearing a legal description of 15.99 acres of land comprised of 4.95 acres out of Block 5, 4.82 acres of Block 7, and 6.22 acres of Block 9, Stewart Place re-subdivision. Applicant Moreland Surveying LLC, in care of Zarate Homes Design LLC, planning and zoning.
So this subdivision is coming for you for 3 reasons. They're proposing to widen the ditch in red for drainage, the variances that were mentioned, and the park fees. This is a subdivision for duplexes, so it's by dwelling unit. So these are the lots that meet the variances. All the lots meet the area requirements. Some of them don't have the frontage or the depth. That's the location inside the city limits. And because it's duplexes, the developer will be paying $66,600, also going to Park Zone 1, the southwest zone.
Perfect. Looks good.
And that's Stewart Place Road, the
Correct.
north-south road.
Correct.
And all of these, the widening of the ditch, just for those that I know people watch from home, those have been approved by Luis, our engineer. right?
Correct. And the drainage district number 5.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10F, consideration and possible action to approve the preliminary construction plans and final plat with conditions of the proposed Dawn Subdivision located at the southeast corner of Primera Road and US 77 Frontage Road, bearing a legal description of 10.13 acres of land out of Block 19, Cummingham Subdivision, applicant Moreland Surveying LLC, in care of CJE Construction, planning and zoning.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And Rolando's Christmas came early, man. All of his drainage dishes are being widened for him.
I know.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Before we move on to the next item, which is really important, I just wanted to address, Christina, you're here in the room. Item 10B was tabled and is going to come back to the commission. If you can do some kind of awareness for the community, so that way they know that that's going to be on the agenda, since you're the one that kind of fronts the comments and in terms of these types of issues. And so if you could help, I was surprised that we didn't have more people here to address that issue. Thank you. Moving forward.
Item 10G,
I'll do this one.
consideration. No?
Go ahead.
Okay. Item 10G, consideration and possible action on the Water and Wastewater Study submitted by Willdan, and authorize the commencement of the public engagement process. City manager.
Good evening. You do have in your packet the presentation that had some updates that were requested from the February 26th meeting that we had. I'm available to answer any questions. I don't have a programmed presentation here. I do believe that we have the slides available, so we can cover any of those or handle any questions that you've got.
Okay. Tim, right here. I know that we need this is essential, but I'm also very concerned with the fact that we're looking at, back in 2020 dollars, it's 170 million. In today's dollars, it's probably in or in the neighborhood of 200 million.
Double, actually.
Oh.
Double.
340 million. Thank you. This is my concern. Right now, we're just looking at increasing the rates. But I want us to go after and see where we stand with our lobbyist, our consultant. The thing behind it is, a week ago, this past Monday, he was involved in a major project with McAllen that would have brought McAllen a $2 billion manufacturing company. That did not go as the way they wanted, but McAllen was the only one in the nation that was being considered. And in that article, which was put out by The Guardian, two things stand out to me. One, they had their infrastructure squared. They had it done. And two, we just hired the same consultant. So I would like nothing more than for us to really explore that and see what kind of funding he can provide us. Along with that, I thought I saw Orlando back over there. We also need to explore what and how we can use funds from future funds from the EDCA and B board to leverage some of these projects. All right. Then third, which I discussed with Gabe a couple of days ago, and I don't know if it was, I think it was yesterday or the day before.
It was yesterday.
Thank you. You know where I'm at. Is trying to use the same concept as a tax increment reinvestment zone, all right? Use that format and use, and that encompasses the whole city of Harlingen, right? And get the county to provide us with matching funds. And trying to find as many buckets of money to address this major endeavor that we're looking at, all right? So I you know, the more I think about it, 200 million, now we're looking at 340 million. It's mind-boggling, and it's like, dang gummit, me personally, I don't want to say, geez, right off the bat, it's only the citizens of Harlingen that are going to fork this out. I want us to really explore the other options, all right? And then there's something else that we're not considering. You have the USDA, and who pushes the USDA one way or the other is going to be our US rep and our US senators. Along with that, we do have a lobbyist that works out of Washington, that works with the airport. So we have resources that we need to find a way and get them to work with us so we can say, you know what, the only option we have, if we have this big option of just with the citizens, that they're gonna fork out this much money, let's decrease that. Also, somewhere down the line, I saw this, and I know you're probably not in favor of this. I gotta backtrack on some of the workshops that we've had, because there's some paperwork there somewhere that I could swear that I saw to where we would be, something that would be considered would be the, a wastewater plant on the west side, okay? With that in mind, okay, that would really alleviate a lot of the stress on the east side of the expressway, which would make it easier, hopefully, to where, as Mike has said, everything rolls downhill. It'll be hopefully more cost-effective to look at that other option, all right? We are growing, And if we have it the way I'm hoping we do, we will go through the roof, which means we're gonna need that second wastewater plant sooner than later. So basically what I'm asking of everybody here is let's table this, let's slow down a little bit, because 340 million is a lot of money. That's well over $250 million. And we need to do right by our citizens and the city of Harlingen. I do realize there's some contracts that are up for renewal with the communities outside. We need to make sure that, not that they're on board so much, but to make sure that we have them on the dotted line so we can make sure that we start looking at how much we're going to get financed by them and what we're doing now, and see more numbers instead of trying to go through this pretty fast. There's something else that begs to be brought up. When you brought us this, the capital improvement plans and that workshop, that was done in the fall. I do not recall if it was in the spring, September or October or November. It was done in the fall.
February the 1st of this year.
No,
we had that meeting.
No, excuse me. I'm referring to, we had just finished the elections in May of 2022.
I think he's talking about the plan from Freese and Nichols.
Right, the master plan.
The master
was
plan.
August of 2022.
Okay, so we got that in August, but that plan was in essence, but did we have the workshop in August or was it later?
It was in August.
It was in August. See, because I'm thinking it came in way later and we didn't have enough time to digest it. Regardless, I'm asking my fellow commissioners to let's think this through a little bit, and I would like us to table this. So I make a
So,
mo,
Commissioner, before you do that, I just want to say that we're not adopting anything at this point. We're giving some guidance, and we still have to do the community outreach before we can get to that point.
okay.
And I don't know if you want to touch on,
Well, I guess to the question of the future wastewater treatment plant, that was a full comprehensive evaluation. We went through and looked at a 50-year net present value analysis, comparing some different options, whether to send all of our wastewater to the existing plant, even the future flows, that was one option. And then we looked at the scenario where we would add the second plant over on the west somewhere. And based on the consultants' recommendations, and they do about 60% of the state's master plans, they indicated it would be better over the near term, and I'm talking over the next 20 years. And what we do have on the capital improvement plan is a lift station in that same area, on the same site, that we would propose to build that treatment plant. But for the projected flows over the next 20 years, that lift station and the capacity improvements in the east would be able to handle the flows that are added. It's very costly. You're talking, in today's prices, you're probably approaching $50–60 million for that project, which is in addition to the majority of the costs that are here. The only infrastructure that we have in our master plan that would be addressing or be helping anything in the west is a lift station. It's a 1.5 million gallon per day lift station and a force main. It has some considerable length, but that is a relatively small fraction of the costs that are represented in our master plan that address needs that we have today. You may recall some of the presentations that I've given showing a map, red dots showing sewer overflows, yellow dots showing surcharge. And that exists through not the western side of the city, but in the central part of the city. Those are conditions that would occur today under a design storm condition. And from 2018 through 2021, each of those years, we've had a storm that exceeded that amount. So those needs exist today. I know we've had some commissioners talking and asking for relief from those problems, and we've done what we can, but until we have that master plan. So whatever the commission would like to do in terms of the timing of the master plan or the rate implementation, that's not my recommendation, but certainly our master plan has had a tremendous amount of thought and effort put into it. We started that process early in 2019, and we didn't really wrap that up until 2022. And so that afforded us a tremendous amount of time to be able to look at all those different scenarios. And the consultant and staff both agree, we feel that that treatment plant will serve us, but we're already developing that site as part of a project that is in the master plan in that Dixieland area. So that would be my comment to the plant. I know you had quite a few other comments, but that's where I'm going to leave my answer.
So, Tim, if you can just touch on the fact that you've already submitted some applications for funding, and with the proposed rate that you've brought to our attention, and how that would impact potential of the funding for those projects, should we not move forward and we put a hold on this for a very, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, how that impacts our opportunity to get those projects funded?
The Water Development Board, they're the SRF agency for the state of Texas, so federal funds come through Water Development Board, and annually they solicit preliminary applications, for lack of a better term, and that deadline was just last Friday. We submitted on maybe $150 million worth of projects in that application. Harlingen, in the past, in our applications in 2022, had been considered disadvantaged, but we've seen a major shift, which I don't believe is real, but our census data in Harlingen has changed. From 1 year to the next, looking at a data set, a census data set, which just displays 2 years, the annual median household income for Harlingen went up 22%, where the state may have only gone up maybe 8%. We don't believe that. We reached out to some demographers at UTSA and UTRGV, and they said that there's low confidence in the quality of that data, at least for Harlingen. So what that means is that Harlingen is not in a position right now with its current rates to be qualified as disadvantaged. Yes, the MHI is below 75%. That gets you through with EDAP, but not in the SRF programs. And so they look at a household cost factor, and that includes the water and sewer rates that customers currently pay. It looks at the amortized cost and the burden that a project will place on those customers. It also considers AMHI, it considers unemployment, and it considers population trends. At our current rates, there is no project size that would end up helping us to qualify for disadvantaged. If you're not disadvantaged, you don't get 20 extra scoring points, which is really important for your placement on the list. It's also disqualifying if you're not disadvantaged. You will not be eligible for any grant component under the typical SRF program. We did an input, and I'm going to wrap this up real quick. We input into our application some assumed rates that are based on the rate plan that the commission and the board, we used the term selected, and we notified and advised the Water Development Board what we were doing. I'm not going to say that those rates or that the Water Development Board is going to accept what we had suggested, but if we don't do that, that is our only shot at disadvantaged status. And even with the on-time rate plan, which you have in your packet, if we do the moderate delay, it's actually true that none of our projects would qualify as disadvantaged. So we view this, if we really do want to pursue the disadvantaged status, again, I'm not going to guarantee that we can achieve that or what Water Development Board will accept, but there is no other path to disadvantaged status, grant funding, and higher scoring than that approach.
Okay, Tim, so I'm going to kind of sum it up a little bit. Just because the commissioner had many questions in terms of grants, and the only way for us to have this opportunity before the Texas Water Development Board are with those proposed rates for 2028 is what you used in order to try to qualify and to get as much money as possible, which is what Commissioner Morales and the entire commission wants, for you to leverage as much as possible these opportunities. So that is something that has already been done, and contingent upon us moving forward, correct?
That's right.
My only other, and I haven't gone back to look at it, I think you identified 1,000 people when I asked about the lifeline. I was calling it income sensitive, but I think it's lifeline rate.
That's right.
So the Housing Authority, I did reach out to them, and they have a little more, about 1,400 And that's not going to make a difference in terms of the cost that you've projected?
The difference is that those that are outside the 1,000 threshold are master metered. And so those can be in Section 8 housing or housing that can either be Section 8 or not. And typically, master metered accounts or tenants in master metered accounts get a better deal than the single family rate because their base rate divided among the total number of units results in a per unit cost that's significantly less. So the 1,000 is what we had talked and discussed specifically with the Housing Authority. And so that's the number that we used. The number was actually 1,002 to be precise, but that was based on an estimate they had.
Okay.
Whereas this is just allowing you to commence public education, I'll make a motion to do so.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next one?
Yes.
Okay, 10H, consideration and possible action to authorize the Harlingen Health Department to add one new position for the animal shelter to assist with daily functions and rehome animals.
Good evening again, Mayor, City Commission. This item, we are requesting to hire a second adoption coordinator. Reason being, we received an overwhelmingly positive response from the community since we opened the animal shelter. We are posting animals every day on Facebook. Taking pictures of those animals can be quite time-consuming, just like children. They don't always sit still and smile for you. So that is quite time-consuming, the adoption process, and we have been invited to quite a few off-site adoption events, and we want to continue to participate in those and be part of those and do everything within our power to get these animals into loving homes. We're also, we've submitted a foster program that we're getting city management and city attorney to review because we want to start the foster program. We've already contacted rescue groups. And so for one person to do all of that is very overwhelming and is very difficult. So we are requesting a second adoption coordinator position that would allow us to better provide these services.
Motion approved.
The price?
I believe it's the salary is $49,000, I believe.
No, it's 40,771.
That includes benefits and
Yes.
No, that does not include benefits.
Okay.
That's just the salary.
is 40?
Yes.
It says with benefits.
Yeah.
Yes, it states $40,771.70.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Benefits.
I was looking at the wrong chart. Yes, you're correct. That does
And then-
include.
Then you add another 36,000 is what you're asking for.
No, that was for, they had initially asked for two positions. We talked about what the budget could undertake right now, considering what's coming up later in on the agenda. So we went with the one.
We're just considering the one.
Yeah, just the one. And you're right, it does include benefits.
And most of you know I was out sick, and so I wasn't able to get to it at this agenda, but I did want to propose the surrender cost, I think I don't remember exactly the cost. What are they to owner, like $40?
If an owner surrenders an animal, it's $20. If it's a litter of multiple puppies, then it's $40.
So those fees that the shelter take in, I would like through ordinance, Mark, if you can help, be able to have that money go back into the shelter, so that way they're able to use that for the operations. And in addition to that, the citations from animal control for animals at large, animals that are not chipped, all those types of violations, for those fees and those, the revenue coming from those citations to also go back into the shelter. So that way they have additional revenue to be able to operate the shelter. So that hopefully will offset some of the cost. But I think I would just want to commend you, and I know I've gone out there a couple of times, and y'all are doing a great job. And Angela is one person, and so when she's off, you don't have someone, so that's where this comes from. Is that right?
Correct, and the shelter is open 7 days a week, so yes, on her days off, other people are trying to fill in, but they already have their assigned duties, so they're doing the best they can.
Awesome. So there was a motion?
Second.
Mayor, just a quick point on the fees that we charge. That's easier to transfer back to the Humane Society than the citations because the bulk of that goes to the state, and we collect a smaller percent. So that might be more difficult for us to give you a dollar amount, but we can certainly try to track that and figure that out.
Right, and so
So
have
the
her mark-
state gets a cut?
Oh,
You
yes,
get a
sir, a
cut of
big one.
everything. You know
Yeah,
that,
big
you
one.
know that. So whatever is that, at the end of the day, the money that stays
Yes,
in
we
the
can do
city, then we can see what that looks like. And I've talked to the judge, and I know I've talked to Shannon and to Mark, and they're going to be very aggressive in terms of these collections. And there's a lot of changes coming to make sure that we promote responsible pet ownership, and those fines along the way should go back to be able to help these animals that are in our community. So I think we have a motion and a second. Is there,
Yeah, just to clarify, the motion is to approve the creation of the second animal adoption coordinator.
right, for
Second.
one?
Yes,
Mhm.
correct.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10I, consideration and possible action to approve an ordinance on first reading, amending Chapter 38 Solid Waste Master Fee Schedule of the Harlingen Code of Ordinances, establishing fees for commercial trash containers provided by the City of Harlingen as related to Chapter 38-69 Public Works.
Is there any discussion, or can Mark read the caption?
Yeah, I have one question. So some of I see hotels and other businesses have Redfin. Is that its own that's another garbage company?
Recycling.
That's a recycle company.
Oh, recycling. Oh, okay.
What's it called?
Redfin.
The red
Yeah.
boxes.
You see it like down by the theater and a few places like that.
Mhm.
They were in direct competition with us when we had a recycle.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious what it was.
We hated them.
Well, I hate them too then, if you do, Ford.
And doesn't have it either.
I'm joking. Okay, so,
Motion approved.
all right. Well, we need to read the caption.
He needs a copy of the ordinance.
I don't,
I don't have one.
no, I don't think
Well,
staff.
it says here
put
an
a copy.
ordinance. Is it not?
No, I don't think it's,
You read that?
we're going to have to bring this back, Mayor, because that ordinance was not in in your packet, so we don't have it to read.
I don't have the actual caption.
No, I don't think it was included.
It was not included when the packet was sent to MIS. However, it was brought in on Monday, so,
But we didn't send it to the mayor and commission, did we?
yes.
We did?
Melinda, you sent it to the mayor and commissioners?
Okay,
But for some reason or other,
Could you just give me a
I don't know,
moment,
that's-
quick,
yes.
just, I can check the,
I didn't get the minutes either.
All right, while we do that, let's go ahead and move on to the next item. You want to do that while you locate it?
yes,
Amanda?
Oh,
Let's go ahead and move on.
so we're going to continue with J.
Yes.
Consideration and possible action to approve an interlocal agreement between the City of Harlingen and the Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District for the use of their athletic facilities to administer the 2024 Elevate program, and authorize the city manager to sign the agreement.
Motion. Motion approved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Let the record reflect that Commissioner Pettis
Abstain.
abstained and notified us of the wrong item at the onset of the meeting.
Okay. Letter K and K, consideration and possible action to accept and award bid submission for 57 Concrete for the proposal of bid number 2024-07, ready mix concrete for the Lon C Destination Park Trail Construction Parks.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
L,
Have you had, if you can just give them tell them thank you for working with us on the price, lowering the price.
Oh,
Thank you.
item,
no, I can't find it.
Okay.
We're going to have to table it, Madam Mayor. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so that's okay. Let's go back up to I, and is there a motion to table?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This item is tabled and will appear on the next City Commission meeting. Moving on, Amanda?
L, consideration and possible action to create and fund a special events and media coordinator position for the city of Harlingen.
Mayor, members of the commission, this item would be to create a special events and media coordinator to focus only on events that we have with the city. We are currently needing someone to help coordinate not just the event itself, but also the advertising, the media outreach, and so this person would be responsible for that. They would be working closely with the director and with the media department that we currently have in place to get this done. The position would pay about $52,000. That would include benefits. And so, and I think this would be a benefit for the city to have this person on board.
Don't we have a convention and visitor bureau, part of the city that does this?
Well, they're funded out of hot funds, so they can only do certain things. And they've got to spend, they can only spend their time on events that will attract guests into hotels. So anything that doesn't quite do that, for instance, the Cinco de Mayo events when we had them, the 16 de Septiembre, they can't help us with that.
Okay. And so then this person would report to whom?
It would report to either myself or to Josh. One of the two. We haven't figured that out yet.
And we don't have enough city staff to do this?
Not for this, no. No, it's not working very well right now.
So I'll just say, I have been kind of looking at this for some time now, and I do meet often with the other mayors throughout the region, and Harlingen is the only one of similar size that doesn't have this type of position. So Edinburgh has it, Mission has one, Brownsville has one, McAllen has more than one, I think. But the only thing that I would ask, Gabe, I don't know if it's possible, but potentially, could this be funded out of half of it from the general fund and then the other half from the hot tax, and that person can oversee events on both for the entire city?
We can certainly do a percent. I'm not sure that it's going to be 50% out of the hot. I need to look at the activities,
Or just a
the events, but yeah, we can come up with a percent. for
Right.
Hot funds.
Just the way I know in Mission, I talked to Mayor Nori about this and their events person. They actually help with also the police department, the fire department, so any department that is connected to the city, and it's the point person for all events, which would free up, like Javier's department does a ton of events, and they would support them, but they would still administer. They would still be the ones putting on the event, but they'd have that support from the events coordinator to make sure that you'd have a calendar to make sure you don't have overlapping events, those types of things that I think are important. PD does, fire department does a lot of events, and so do the departments within the city, and that would help downtown, I think, also as well, in terms of having the support for them as well.
Okay, so just a couple questions on this.
Sure.
So, like, for example, Rio Fest, who will, if we approve this, who will handle Rio Fest?
Well, it would be CVB that's doing,
So Edgar would handle Rio Fest?
yes, he would, but then this person would help him with the coordination of the media and some of the events as well, for instance, bands and things like that. So it just wouldn't be him, it'd be him plus his position.
But we already have a media department.
But right now, they're not really focusing on getting the event part of it organized. They just cover media, and this person would be dedicated solely to events. Right now, we have 30 events throughout the year.
Yeah, my concern, I just want to make sure the lines are very clear and that there's not like, this person is.
Two people doing the same thing.
No, this would only be focused on events, and not necessarily anything dealing with, say, for instance, the animal shelter, that we have to put out a notice to the public for any particular issue. This person would not be doing that.
So is this person running the event? No, just coordinating.
They'd be coordinating, right, with the director, and also get focused on media outreach to get more people to the event, and then also to help with any other issues that come up with organizing the event.
Okay, so like, let's use Lager Jogger then. would this person then report to Javier and do what Javier says?
No,
Logger
no,
jogger?
no. This person would be working with Javier, but they would report to either Josh or myself, and they would report any issues back to us, and then we'd intervene and address the issue. But they would be working with Javier. For instance, last time, and I'm glad you brought that up, because we actually advertised the event as a 5K. And so we didn't get a whole lot of participation in the actual event itself. And so this person would actually look at it and say, look, there needs to be a festival that has a component that's also a 5K, not a 5K that has a festival. So things like that that need to be worked out and addressed in any type of media event that goes out.
So for example, just to kind of clarify a little bit, and I say this because I kind of put a bug in Gabe's ear about this, looking at every other city, and each time we have an event, it seems like the directors are a little overwhelmed with having to take care of their own responsibilities and then manage these events. And so the other day, I went to the jalapeno race, right? And I was there with one of the main sponsors, and this is an event that the City of Harlingen has participated as a sponsor for years and years and years, and they've got a ton of people from all over that come. And so I was talking to one of the one of the sponsors there, and he said, I really want to grow this next year. So when everybody takes off, all the bikes leave, I'd like to have a health festival. And he's saying, I'll help with that, right?
what festival?
Like a health festival, like
Health.
health, right, to promote health and awareness, and it's around this time of the It's Time Texas Challenge too, right? And so he says, wouldn't it be nice if we had an opportunity to, once these people leave, we can have a place where we're teaching kids how to ride bikes. And teaching adults how to ride bikes, and we're providing water and healthy choices, and we can have some vendors and all. So he's telling me all this. I was like, okay, great. Now where do I take this information? Who do I give it to? Well, you would give it to that events person, and that events person would be the one to coordinate and move forward and then present something to the commission to say, hey, I looked at all the events, this is what I think. We always talk about consolidating events, maybe we have too many, maybe we don't have the quality that we want, sometimes less is more, and this person would be tasked with the events throughout the entire community that the city is involved in, and then give recommendations and guidance and best practices on how we're supposed to handle events. There's been issues in the past in regards to contracts on events, and so this person would be the point person for people to communicate with, and of course in connection with Mark, when it comes to contracts and vendors and talking to people to get best prices and making sure everything is in order. But like the logger jogger, it would still be Javier and Christina that run the event. And she'd collaborate, or he would collaborate with them to ensure that they're getting that historical data to make informed decisions. But at the end of the day, they'd report to one of these guys to make sure that everything's kosher. And then I don't know if that would come to the commission or not. I don't know if there's additional events. But the idea is to have one sole person that can be that point person. So when there's issues like issues that we had with Rio Fest, then it's not, Gabe's got a lot on his plate. He shouldn't have to deal with something like that. That person would be the responsible person to have that contact with the vendors and insurance and things
So
like
would
that.
it be Edgar then?
It wouldn't be, but Edgar would be the face of Rio Fest. He just would not be the person.
He would be the primary person putting it on. 'Cause
So
that's-
then she would, or he, this director would then report to Edgar. Because if Edgar is in charge, that's what I'm trying to say, is in my mind, there needs to be someone in charge of it. right?
It's this person.
So it will always be Edgar's gonna be in charge of
No,
Real
it would be
Fest.
this person.
Okay, so it's gonna be this person. So, okay, that's fine.
It would be this person, and then if there are any issues that come up with, say, Rio Fest, then she would say no, or he would say no, it's got to be this way, and then they'd report back to us, and then we'd get with Edgar and say, no, after looking at this, this is what he or she recommends, so this is what we're going to have to do.
All right, and then media, this person would also have access to our media accounts?
Yes.
And so,
Right, yes, but we
They'd
have
be
a
working
whole
with the
department
media
that
department also.
handles the media. So they're strictly events, but again, they're the person to work with communications on how to set up, like communications sets up our press conferences for everything. So they would continue to do that. She would just say, hey, I think it would be great for you to have it on Wednesday, and it should be here at this location. So this person would be working in connection with everybody within the city. So if you have an idea about an event or questions about an event, you would contact that person.
Kind of like when we have an event now, it takes several directors to actually put it together, from Public Works to Parks to Media, and sometimes CVB, because if it's a CVB event. There's nobody in charge of trying to organize all those directors. It's usually a city manager or one of the assistants. This person would actually kind of help us with that, organize the event, coordinate with all the directors, saying, this is what we need to do. Where's your plan for, say, parking, for street closures, and get all that together so that it would free up some of our time of having to do that.
Where's this person going to hang out at?
That's a good question.
Well, we have some space here at City Hall that we can probably put her in.
And then if I could be sarcastically truthful. Yes, Shannon, it was funny. Thank you.
The long chuckle in the back.
Yeah. And the purpose of a bureaucracy is to grow itself.
All right.
Okay.
So this would help city staff. Everyone that's involved and has a hand in events, it would help them and support them. That from downtown to CVB to communications to parks, everybody would have somebody to support them. So that's basically it. And again, and Public Works, of course, they put on a lot of events. But again, we are just way behind. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, we are putting on an event where we're working on in conjunction right now with the school district to do a Mother's Day event that's going to be really nice at our auditorium, where we're going to treat all of our moms, and we're getting mariachis from the school. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into that, and right now all of that work is falling on the shoulders of Oscar and Javier. They wouldn't have to be doing that. It would be this person that would be coordinating. So it is something that I think would be helpful for the city.
You know what, we can try it for a year. If we don't think it's going to work out, then we can come back and say, we do something different.
Yeah, my concern is that they're gonna be knocking into each other, the department heads and this person, like, the lines of communication are just gonna start getting twisted up, so.
Well, this is only be dealing with an event that's coming up. So that kind of segregates out some of the responsibilities that everybody will be doing. Because the day-to-day will still be up to the director, and this person will not be involved in any of those issues with day-to-day, only if they're putting on an event, and then it would deal with, okay, 2 months before the event, you have to start doing this. And so where are you on this, and getting it ready, and then working on all those issues.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion? No? Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
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 Gotta make that decision, buddy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Man, I wish it was as easy as a car wash one. I know my answer there.
I will just say just one other thing. I have, y'all are not as, I know everybody is engaged on the commission, but it's usually me that has to talk with staff in regards to the issues that they have when they don't have enough time. And so this is to support the staff. We always talk about wanting to support the staff. This is what supporting the staff looks like. And yes, it's an additional position, but when you're looking at other communities that are growing and thriving and are doing all these events for their communities, it's because they have the support. When we put on staff to put on additional events, but then you don't give them the help that they need, then that's just more of a burden for them. And so those are the reasons why that I think that you should really consider supporting them and giving them the tools that they need. And if, Gabe says, if you feel that it's not working out, we reevaluate it during the budget time, and there's a ability to cut that.
All right, I'll motion, vote yea to approve this one with the condition that I would want it for 1 year and we reevaluate in 1 year.
We can do that.
All right, motion passes. Moving on to board appointments.
Appointments.
I have none.
I have a few. I'm gonna put Fred Uribe on the events committee, and I'm gonna put Ray Silva on the TERS 1, 2, and 3.
Which one was the second one, sir?
Ray Silva,
Let's see.
he's with Valley Baptist.
I don't have an appointment for a board, but I do have a comment on the Charter Review Committee. I did have an opportunity to look at the last meeting and on how that meeting went. I also have been reflecting on the need of having the community really be involved in changes that we want to make as a commission, and being as transparent as possible and getting as much engagement as possible. And so looking at this election, and I know Commissioner Kinsley touched on the fact that a lot of people went out and voted during the primary. If you look at those ballots in the primary election, specifically on the Republican ticket, the back of the ballot was just a whole bunch of questions, getting a pulse on the community and just asking them, what are your thoughts on X? What are your thoughts on Y? Would you support this? Would you support that? And I think that that's an excellent tool to really gauge what it is that people want. This is going to be the first time that we're going to have such tremendous voter turnout in terms of having a city election, which is, I think, was the vision of this commission before I got here, where more people are coming out to vote, because not so much that they want to come out and vote for the city election, but by default, they're there to vote on the presidential election, and so then we get more of not buy-in, but more engagement and more people involved in the democratic process. And so, having said that, I think that this is an opportunity for us to utilize this election coming up in November to ask those questions of our community on what it is that they would like to see for Harlingen. So instead of putting things on the ballot and having the Charter Review Committee, which is appointments from each of us, but at the end of the day, it's 7 people. I don't know that that is representative of our 70,000 people that are here in the community. I think it would probably be best for us to utilize this time to ask those hard questions to our community, get their feedback, and then once we have that data, maybe in 2025, we can hand that over to the Charter Review Committee and say, hey, this is what Harlingen wants, and then they'll have more guidance on where to look in order to have meaningful discussions on what the community really wants. And so that would be my suggestion on what it is that we do moving forward, because we only have a short period of time. If there are specific propositions that we want as a commission that make sense after review of the Charter Review Committee, I know that those are going to Gabe. We could put those, I put it in a call to Remy today. I didn't get a chance to talk to him to see what that would look like. But if there's some things that need to be changed, just because with time, it just makes sense to do that. I know there's certain, I think you mentioned some at the meeting that I wasn't there, but I watched the meeting in terms of like Gabe's contract and when he shouldn't be here. Those are kind of common sense moves. I think any staff member that is on vacation shouldn't be forced to come and be present if they're on vacation. So things like that are common sense that I don't think that you need a lot of input. Maybe those can potentially be on there, but that's what I would recommend that we would do instead of moving forward in the path that we were moving forward in. So those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, Wayne Lowry reappoint downtown.
None.
None.
Going back to what you were saying about this who would determine what is put on the ballot for people to consider?
I think we could do that as a commission and send those to Gabe, and we could probably do a public, like a,
That would probably need commission action to do that.
right, we would need commission action, but I think maybe we could do a town hall specifically on things, just to get the input, if we wanted to do that. I think there's a number of ways. We wouldn't be the first community that's doing this. I know that San Antonio has done it in the past. I think it's just the right way to move forward, in my opinion. If we really want to get what we want to know, what the community wants, this is the way to get that done.
You still haven't done your town hall, right?
Well, we're going to do one together.
With everybody.
Yeah, when's
Yeah.
that?
I think it was
We need to
supposed
come up
to
with a
be
date. We've
March.
got so many other meetings that we haven't had a chance to put that one together, but, yeah. We'll try to get, what are we, March?
Maybe we can do the end of March. I know we were, I revisited about doing the developer meeting. I think that's important.
That's next week.
We got to do
I
that.
think everybody's looking at Thursday.
So,
For the one for the developers?
Yes, next Thursday. And
Yeah.
then, we're gonna have, I don't know if we're getting off topic, but we're gonna have an item to move the first meeting in, when is the MMA,
Do first Wednesday in April.
first, okay.
The day
April
that-
6th?
so at the next meeting, we can move. We
Yeah,
can-
and the mayor suggested having it the following week, because there's, on that Thursday, there's something for George McShann in Mission. And so,
It's got to be the Tuesday.
or the Tuesday,
Yeah, the Tuesday before.
okay. Well, it just can't be Thursday, because that's, George is having his deal, and we'd like to have Harlingen people there.
So I think
Maybe
we're
April 2nd.
getting off topic just slightly.
Can we vote on the,
Did you have any other questions? Again, those are just my thoughts. It's not, I'm just putting out there, I wasn't here at the last meeting to add to the discussion, but I've been thinking about it a lot, and that's where I'm leaning, and maybe we can bring it back on the next meeting and talk about it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the next one is executive session, item number 12. All items listed in this section will be deliberated in closed session. Members of the public are not generally permitted to attend a closed session. Executive session items may be considered as an action item at the discretion of the mayor. However, city commission will not take any action in closed session. Item A, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.07A, to discuss the annual evaluation of the city manager. Item B, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, to consult with legal counsel regarding pending collective bargaining agreement with fire union.
so moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. The time is now 7:20 PM, and we are in executive session. Okay, the time is now 8:18 PM, and we are out of executive session. Thank you all so much for your patience, and we have no action. We are adjourned.